Today we're gonna be talking about sleep and how important it is for your fat loss journey, for your muscle gain journey, and for your overall health journey. Like, sleep is one of those things that is so underrated that so many people overlook. They start thinking about doing all different types of things for recovery, foam rolling, cold plunging, sauna, this and that, this other hack. Like, if you're not getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep, I would say 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day, you should not be thinking about other recovery things. You gotta fix that. That's the thing that's gonna help you the most when it comes to moving the needle forward to getting towards your goal. Being sleep deprived is gonna keep you away from your goals. When your body is not functional at its max capacity, you're not gonna be burning fat as much as you can. You're not gonna be building muscle. Your body's just gonna be on survival mode. We talked about this a lot. When your body is just on survival mode, you're not gonna see results. Your body's just trying to survive, so it's just not gonna adapt. It's just gonna stay on survival mode. So sleep is so important, and I'm gonna go over a few things to fix your sleep. And this is how I fix my sleep, and it's just been a game changer. And for starters, that's one thing I've always taken care of: my sleep. Getting 8 hours of sleep. Even when I was in high school, I would like try to stay up late doing homework, and I was like, nah, my sleep is more important than this homework. And I got it done. And just, recent years, I've taken ownership of that as well. And I'm going to share with you guys some strategies that have helped me. Guys, I am 30 years old and I get 8 hours of sleep every single day because I need them. So if you're older than me, you 100% need your 8 hours of sleep. If you're working out more than three times a week, you 100% need your sleep. If you want to see great results, you 100% need to get your sleep. That is the biggest anchor that you will have in your fitness journey if you're not resting properly. So a couple things that I started doing to improve my sleep is, one, I started putting my phone on do not disturb. You gotta reverse engineer this. So, what is your ideal time to wake up? When do you wanna wake up? And one of the things that I did that I make a big change is, one, I don't wanna wake up and be all scatterbrained. I don't want to wake up and be in a rush. I don't want to wake up and like knowing that, oh shit, I might be late and rushing. Like, that is adding stress to your life. Like, waking up in a rush. Bro, I used to wake up like 10 minutes before any call I had. A session I had or a call I had, 10 minutes, and I'll be all agitated. I wouldn't have any me time. So if you're waking up stressed up, then that's not good. So make sure you are giving yourself some time before you actually have to serve someone or go to your job or take care of your kids. Give yourself some time in the morning before the chaos comes into your life. So that's how you're going to figure out what time you should be waking up. Let's say that time is 6 a.m. If you wake up at 6 a.m., you have maybe an hour, ideally 2 hours, to take care of you first before your day starts. So, okay, we gotta wake up at 6 a.m. So if you gotta wake up at 6 a.m., then we reverse that. So that would be 12, that would be 10. That means that by 10 p.m., the latest, you gotta be ready to go to sleep. And not like, okay, time to go to bed, and you end up going to bed at 10:30, 10:40. Like, you gotta be showered, your teeth gotta be brushed, your phone gotta be plugged in. You gotta be in bed with the lights off at 10 a.m. It's not like I'm gonna get in bed and I'm gonna watch a show at 10 p.m. No, at 10 p.m. you gotta be in bed, ready to sleep, close your fucking eyes, and go to bed. That's gonna ensure that you get 8 hours of sleep, and not even, because it takes probably 15 to 25 minutes for you to actually go to sleep. So even that is being nice. But for that's the way I started, and that's a great way you should start. Give yourself an 8-hour mark from the time you want to get up, and then that's when you're gonna know what time you have to be in bed, and you cannot miss that. That you got to put yourself a bedtime goal instead of putting yourself a wake up time goal. Put yourself a bedtime goal. It's very hard to wake up at 6 a.m. every day when you go to sleep sometimes at 11 or at 12 or even at 1. It's very easy to wake up at 6 a.m. when you go to sleep every single day before 10 p.m. So keep that in mind. Now, when you have that, you have your bedtime goal. Okay, I need to go to sleep at this time so I can wake up at this time and get my 8 hours of sleep. Now, what do we do? What I did was an hour before my bedtime, I put my phone on do not disturb. So nobody has access to me an hour before my bedtime. That is it. I am clocked out. I am on my phone a lot of the time of the day. I run social medias. I run my business on my phone, my clients, everything like that. I'm on my phone a big chunk of the day. So an hour before my bedtime, I put it on do not disturb. It goes automatically. It doesn't matter if someone tries to call me or text me. They're not going to get a hold of me. They're not going to get a hold of me. Now, the other thing I started doing is eating. Your eating window. You do not want to eat too close to when you want to go to bed. If you go to bed, let's say our time is right now, 10 p.m. That's our goal. You do not want to eat past 7. You want to keep it at 7. You want to keep it, your goal is to keep it 3 hours before your actual bedtime. So, that means you got to have your dinner ready. You got to have your dinner ready. You got to have things cooked up already. That way you're not eating too late. Because then you're going to be digesting, there's going to be a lot of movement in your stomach and in your digestive system. And it's just going to be working a lot. And it's not ideal for when you want to chill and get some sleep and recover. Half of your body is going to be working overtime while you're trying to sleep. It's just not going to end up good for your quality of sleep. Now, the third thing I started doing is the liquids. So your liquids, 2 hours before your bedtime, stop the liquids. Stop drinking, even if it's water, just stop the liquids. You got to hydrate throughout the day, on your morning, on your afternoon. 2 hours before bedtime, stop the liquids. And because if you drink too much water right before going to bed, you're going to wake up in the middle of the night wanting to go to the bathroom. Even if you don't actually wake up and walk to the bathroom, which that will really wake you up. But the feeling of having to pee in the middle of the night is going to wake you up. And then you're going to probably fight the urge because you're like, I don't want to get up. And that's just going to mess with your quality of sleep. Now, the last thing is no screen times the last hour before you go to bed. Last hour before bed, minimize screen time, especially your phone. Like if you're on your phone in your bed before going to sleep, that's a no-no. That's gonna hurt the quality of your sleep. You gotta think of your phone, the LED lights and the brightness. That thing almost acts like a sun. Like to your body, it thinks like, oh, it's bright out. It's time to be awake. You gotta cut that out. Like I think 3 years ago, I told Ashley, I was like, we're not going to watch, even though we have a TV in our room, we don't use it at all. I was like, we're not going to watch anything on the bed because, I don't want it to mess with my sleep. When we watch a show, we watch it in the couch and then that's over. Then when I go to bed, my body knows when I go to bed, it's like sleep time. Like you go to bed to rest. So 1 hour before going to bed, you want to minimize any laptop, any screens, anything. All your devices should be on do not disturb. So it should be easy to cut all those screens out the 1 hour before going to bed. Guys, those are the quick tips. I believe there were 4 or 5 tips that I recommend for you guys to get a better quality of sleep. You have to take this seriously. Oh, I forgot the caffeine one. And the caffeine. So the caffeine, the goal is 10 hours, 10 to 8 hours before going to bed. So if you're going to bed at 10 p.m., then at 2 p.m. is your last cup of coffee. 2 p.m. should be your last cup of coffee. You don't want to have that near your bedtime. You need, because the numbers are between, I think, 8 to 10. It all depends how much you have, but it takes 8 to 10 hours for the caffeine to completely leave your system. So if you still have caffeine on you and you're like going to bed, you're gonna be fucking wired, you're gonna be amped up, and you're not gonna be able to go to bed. So that's the last thing I forgot. Cut the caffeine out. Cut the caffeine out, and you can start where you are right now. Start where you are, whether it is, have a goal of 6 hours. Okay, 6 hours, that's doable. 6 hours, cool. And then maybe start to 7 hours. Make that doable, and then go to 8. I think 8 to 10 is good. I always do, like, say 9. I always do 8 hours. Right, I know that if I want to go to bed by like 1 p.m., that's my last sip of coffee. That's my last, caffeine, whatever. So that's always my goal. 8 hours. That way caffeine doesn't mess with me. Guys, all those things, if you put all those things into place, you are going to get way better quality of sleep. So here's the list. Set up at what time do you want to wake up? That will tell you at what time do you have to go to sleep to get those 8 hours. From there, you're gonna work backwards. 1 hour before bed, no more screens. Put your phone and devices on do not disturb. From there, 2 hours before going to sleep, no more drinks, no more liquids. 3 hours before going to sleep, no more food. That's it. Cut out the food. You don't want to be digesting while you sleep. And then 6 to 10 hours before you go to sleep, cut out all the caffeine. Cut out all the caffeine. And if you do all of this, I promise you your sleep is going to improve, and it's going to lead to more fat loss, better recovery, and more muscle gain. All right, guys, keep that in mind. I'll talk to you guys soon. Let's go.